Hi guys, Tracy Hess, Walt Zoned2BToned, our fitness celebrity expert of the week. Walt, what are we doing today? What exercise are we showing our viewers?
Today, Trace, we're going to work on the back. And first things first, ladies and gentlemen, Tracy's too shy to tell you, but she just won the overall title at the 2012 NPC Brandywine Cup.
I was trying to keep
so let's give it up for Tracy right now.
That's because I got my back.
Yes, first things exactly. Yes,
Oh,
have a V, not a tree. I worked that in there.
That's good for the ladies.
So anyway, today, like I was saying, we're going to talk about training the back. Now the back is actually a combination of several different muscle groups, and if I could have Tracy give me 2/4 turns right there. Now, there's several different muscle groups. I'm going to start describing the muscle groups from the top of the back down to the bottom of the back. If you want. At the very top of the back, you have the trapezius muscles. Now, a lot of people consider these and they work them with the shoulders. However, they're really a back muscle. The trapezius actually goes all the way down to the center of the back. It's a pretty big, pretty strong muscle. When you move down a little bit more, you have a latissimus muscle, and that's the muscle that most people think about when they think about training back. That's the one that gives you the nice V taper when it's developed correctly. Then at the bottom, you have the lower back, the spinal erector muscles. Lower back is probably the most important part of the back for just about everybody because it's very important for good posture. It's very important to make sure that you keep this a strong area because if you injure it, it's going to really cripple you up. Another thing to note is every muscle in the body has an opposite muscle. With the lower back, it's the abdominals. A lot of times, a lower back problem is not necessarily a lower back problem, but a weak abdominal problem. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to make sure that the abs and the low back are about the same strength, so one doesn't overpower the other. Okay?
Very good tip. So, I agree with you. Very nice.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the top and we're going to work our way down. First exercise we're going to do is going to be a barbell shrug over here, and we'll come on over here and we'll get started. As I said, we're going to start with a shrug. We're going to work the trap muscle. And again, the traps aren't just up on here. Traps go all the way down, and we'll talk about that a little bit when we're working out the lats as well. Shrug can be done either with a barbell or with a dumbbell. I'm going to do it with a barbell today, but if it's a little bit easier for you, a little better range of motion, sometimes you can get with a dumbbell. To do the shrug correctly, you want to make sure you take about a shoulder width grip. I like to go just a little bit wider. You can use a lot of weight when you're doing shrugs eventually. You don't want to do it in the beginning. So when you get up in weight, sometimes it's important to use wrist straps or lifting straps. But today I'm just going to show you without that, but it's okay to use them as well.
That's a very good tip.
We're going to take a shoulder width grip a little bit wider. We're going to get a good stretch at the bottom. We're going to shrug up. Now some people will round off and curl it back like that. Not a bad thing, not a good thing. I prefer just to come straight up and down. If you want to do it that way, it's not a problem.
Misconceptions too, Walt, when people do these exercises, do they line their shoulders up with their traps and do they drop their necks forward? I see a lot of crazy things when it comes to traps.
Right, one of the things you just want to make sure is that your posture is right. You don't want to be necessarily pushed forward. It puts a lot of stress on the spine. Your spine is the strongest when it's straight up and down. So you're going to come up and squeeze, hold for just a second, back down, stretch, up and squeeze, and back down.
Did you feel that?
I felt that. So, and again, like any other exercise, you're going to do 3 to 4 sets, anywhere from 10 to 15 reps per set. Next, we're going to move on to an exercise for the middle back or for the lats. Okay, here we are over at the bench, and for the mid back, we're going to do a very simple, very basic exercise called a dumbbell row. A rowing exercise, again, as with most exercise, you can do it in a variety of different ways. You can use a dumbbell like we're going to do today. You can use a bent over barbell row, which is a great back exercise. You can do a cable row. This exercise is just a very simple, basic exercise. You don't need a whole lot of equipment to do it. Really just a flat bench and a dumbbell. So even at home, it's an exercise that men or women can do. It's a really, really good back exercise. Form is very, very important because you do have the lower back to consider. So what you want to make sure that you're doing, you're going to kneel on the bench. You're going to bend down like this. You're going to brace this arm just like this. You're going to keep your back nice and flat. I'm not going to round it. I'm not going to drop my head down. I'm going to keep a nice flat back. Exactly. Exactly. Whichever side I'm working, I'm going to take that leg. I'm going to keep it back behind me a little bit. I'm going to reach down and grab the dumbbell. I'm going to get a good stretch. I'm going to row it up till it's about even with my pecs and back down. Get a good stretch. A good squeeze.
I'm so glad Walt's doing the exercises I watch. This is my favorite. I love rows. A lot of women do not really train their back. It's a forgotten body part for you ladies, but ladies, believe me, you definitely want to start doing your rows. It gets rid of that right in that bra area where things start to hang. It will help tighten that area. Of course, you guys like those lower lats, so it's good for that too. So.
Absolutely. And this row, like I said, it's a very basic exercise. It's a very good exercise. And you train the lats properly, obviously gives you a nice V taper, gives everybody a good look, men or women. Next, yes, very sexy. And next we're going to move on to an exercise for the lower back, so we're going to come over this way. Trace, the third exercise we're going to do is the lower back exercise. As I was saying, very important to make sure the lower back is strong. And one of the most basic exercises you can do for the lower back is called a hyperextension.
I love this.
It's a basic piece of equipment. If you don't have this equipment and you're just starting out, you can even do it flat on the floor, lying on your stomach and just bringing your upper body about 3 or 4 inches off the floor. However, since we have this piece of equipment, it's going to be easier for me to show you this way.
Most gyms do carry one of these hyperextension machines.
So you're going to climb on the machine like this. There's 2 pads back behind you. You're going to put your feet in between the 2 pads. Make sure that pad is secure. It would be a bad thing if it wasn't. You're going to take your arms, you're going to cross them in front of you. You're going to keep a nice flat back. You're going to go down to 90 degrees and come up just until your body is straight, just like that.
And as you can see, as Walt's doing it, he's actually incorporating his fabulous hamstrings, his nice gluteus maximus, and of course the lower back. So everything's basically getting work as Walt's doing the exercise. You see how strict he's moving? He's not trying to high rep it too fast. He's taking the time to let the muscle do all the work. And yes, it will cramp and get tight. How you doing, Walt?
I'm cramping and getting tight. As most exercises, again, you want to do 3 or 4 reps. You're going to do 10 to 15 reps per exercise. So if you combine those 3 basic exercises, you're really going to have a pretty complete back workout to get you started. So, thanks very much for checking in this week, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.
We'll be back with the tips from Walt next week.